What's up, Game of Thrones? It's your boy DJ11 here, back at you with another quick vid. And first off, I want to give a shout out to all my mother dragons out there. Happy Mother's Day. Hope you guys always have a splendid day and have a good time with loved ones all day long. Absolutely enjoy that one. What's up? We only got a couple hours left until Game of Thrones, The Tower of Joy. I was so pumped up. I was sitting here thinking about it. I was like, is this really going to answer all these questions? And there's so many questions that we want answered and so many theories about the Tower of Joy that there's just absolutely no way that they're all going to get answered in this episode. And I'm like, oh wow, we're like 14 hours away now, and I'm sitting here thinking, and I was getting all excited about it. And the more I think about it, the more I think we're going to be left after this episode with more questions and things that get answered. I think we're going to get an absolutely epic battle. I think it's going to be awesome. I think we're finally going to get to see Howland Reed, even if it is going to be the young Howland Reed, so that's going to be awesome. But as far as the rest of it, I don't think we're going to get the R plus L equals J. If we do, we'll only get half of it. We might find out who his mom is, who I think pretty much 90% of the world or Game of Thrones nation already agrees on anyway. Of course, there's a few other ones here and there, but I think most people think it's Lyanna Stark. I mean, a couple think it's Arthur Dayne, and that's always a possibility as well, but I think we're all on the same page. It's pretty much Lyanna Stark. What we're not on the same page is it is not Rhaegar who's the father. And if you guys have all seen my other video, if not, go check it out. But I definitely break that all down. And yeah, Rhaegar is not the father. I'm pretty positive on that one. But yeah, I was sitting here thinking about all the stuff that's going to go down in this video, and there's no way we get more than half our questions answered, because the whole video would have to be Bran just explaining more and more flashbacks, and yeah, they're not going to give Bran that much time or do that much in a flashback. So I think we'll get the epic fight. I think we'll see Sir Arthur Dayne. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's kind of bummed out that he's going to have two swords. I mean, we don't know for sure, but it looks like the guy in the video and the preview is going to have two swords taking people down. What would be cool is if, since it is supposed to be 7-on-3, is if he takes those two swords and he's like taking people out and sticks a couple people and leaves a couple swords in them, and then breaks out Dawn out of the back, and then he's got his great two-handed great sword. That would be pretty epic, dude. And we just get to see Dawn gleaming. Come on, you know that'd be tight. But yeah, other than that, I just don't see how much they're gonna do. I mean, maybe we hear Lyanna cry out Ned, and then they just flash out, and that's it. Like they'll do the epic battle, and then we'll hear Lyanna cry out for Ned, and he'll look up, and that they'll fade out, and that'll be all they'll give us. But I don't think they're gonna confirm Jon Snow's parents by any means. Not this early. It'd be cool if they did, but I don't think they're going to. So yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm still totally excited to see it, but the more I think about it, I'm like, man, they're not gonna give us as much as we're all hoping for. They never do. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's gonna be an awesome episode. I can't wait to see it. I'm pumped to see it, but I just think they're gonna leave me with more questions than what they explain. Like I said, if you see my other theories, I don't believe in R plus L equals J. In a nutshell, I think we're going to get a lot more things broken down or explained to us from the Tournament of Harrenhal, the Great Tournament of Harrenhal, than we do at the Tower of Joy. I think that's where a lot of stuff broke off. I think that's where a lot of our answers are going to come from. Like I said, I break it down in my other video, but in a nutshell, Ned Stark and Ashara Dayne fell in love at Harrenhal. I totally believe that. But at dinner, Rhaegar was singing a song on his harp. You know, all the great lords are there. This is a huge tournament, and they're having this big dinner. And Rhaegar sings a song, and Lyanna Stark cries, which she's not exactly, a weeping widow. So the fact that she's crying is weird. And then Ashara Dayne comes in, and she's crying, and she cries out Stark. And everybody thinks she's crying out for Eddard or Brandon. And Sir Barristan the Bold said it looks like she just got dishonored. Okay, she just got dishonored. She probably just got raped. That's what they're saying. Who would be having the balls way back then to be dishonoring high-born maidens like that? Well, it just so happened that Mad King Aerys had come out, and his wife was already dismissing his handmaidens because he was turning them all into whores. So, I mean, it just kind of seems like his deal. And I actually believe that Ashara and Lyanna both got raped by Mad King Aerys out there. He got them both pregnant, and that's why Rhaegar went and kidnapped, abducted. He went and grabbed them both because they were both holding the bloodline, the royal blood. He wanted to take them someplace safe. Took them out to the Tower of Joy to have the kids. And Mad King Aerys wanted to keep them safe. And so he sent 3 of his best guards out there. I mean, a rebellion's going on. I mean, it's getting crazy, and he's going to send 3 of his best guards. One of them's the best swordsman on the planet, out to go save a baby. Rhaegar's kid? No. Like I said, this is all in my other video. But yeah, so the King's Guard's downstairs. I think that he's guarding the King's kid. Because Ned says, I mean, for 14 years, he's been holding on to these lies. And when he said lies, I mean, you'd think lie would be Jon Snow, as, you know, whatever went on with that. But lies kind of implies that there's a couple things going on there. Does that mean that there's 2 kids? Could be. Like I said, I think Lyanna and Ashara are both up there. I think they got pregnant about the same time. I think they're having their kids about the same time. I think that's why they're all out there with the Kingsguard. And I actually believe that Ned ended up taking, because they said they got in a fight. The Kingsguard all went down. The only one left was Arthur Dayne. All Ned's guys went down. The only 2 left were him and Howland Reed. Arthur Dayne had him down and was basically just about to kill him, and he would have if it wasn't for Howland Reed. So basically, you think Howland Reed jumped in and saved him. Whether he threw his net on him, and Arthur Dayne wasn't used to fighting somebody with nets and got stuck in the net, or if he just jumped in the back. Because you got to think, I mean, Arthur Dayne and Ned Stark were considered to be 2 of the most honorable men in Westeros. And Arthur Dayne was considered to be the most chivalrous knight ever, basically. So, I mean, these are like 2 honor-struck bound guys. So when they fought, it was probably one-on-one, even though there's 2 guys left. You know, Ned probably told, you know, Howland, stay back. And Howland's like, you're crazy, you're gonna die. And he just about did, and Howland saved him. But how did he save him? Like I said, did he throw his net on him and save him? Did he jump in with a sword and stab him and kill him? How'd you do it? We never heard, I mean, Ned never said anything, but he certainly never bragged about killing the greatest knight on the planet. So, I mean, we don't know what happened there. But what if they switched it up? And what if they didn't kill him? And supposedly Howland Reed had the gift of gab. What if he just, like, started talking sense into him? Your king's dead, your cause is dead. Basically, Robert's got the throne, and this is Robert's best friend. You're gonna kill him? What do you think Robert's gonna do to you after what he just did to all these Targaryens? And then they said, you know, Ned went upstairs to find a sister and a bed of blood. And when Howland came in there, Lyanna was already dead, and he just found, and they said they found him holding a sister. Well, who's they? If Howland and Ned are the only 2 still alive? Is it too late to say spoilers? But if him and Ned are the only 2 still alive, who's they? Now that gets kind of tricky because it's the Tower of Joy. It's not really a castle, but I mean, it's still a stronghold. So there's still got to be people there, right? I mean, cooks, maids, servants. So when it says they, it could be anything. But in the nature of the book, when everybody's supposed to be dead in this fight, who is they? Now, tinfoil theory. If they is really Howland Reed and Sir Arthur Dayne, and they didn't kill Sir Arthur Dayne. They just told him, you know what? Well, this is all over, and so Robert doesn't kill you. If you take the black, just take a different name, take the black, and nobody will ever know. So, me being me, I was just messing around, and you know, if you mess around and you start switching the names around, that you can turn Mance Rayder into Sir Mr. A. Dayne. Which is kind of, I don't know, that's just crazy enough. I could see George doing something like that. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Sir Mr. A. Dayne, Mance Rayder. Wouldn't that be a trip? Find out that's who that is. Because remember, okay, yeah, spoilers and everything I do, and we're probably way past that. But remember in the book when John in Rattleshirt and Mance Rayder had been glamored by Melisandre as Rattleshirt? And John went out there and he was just all of a sudden getting his ass kicked. Like the guy was just so fast and just whipping. And John's a pretty good swordsman. And this guy was just blasting him all over the yard. Now, later on, you know, we find out that it's Mance Rayder. It wasn't Rattleshirt. Rattleshirt was a lot smaller guy. And that's what was blowing John away. So we just took it as like, oh, it was Mance Rayder. That's why. But what if the real reason is because Mance Rayder is Sir Arthur Dayne and John was really out there getting his ass whooped by the greatest swordsman on the planet?
Wouldn't that be cool?
Ned went up, talked to his sister. His sister was like, "Promise me, Ned, promise me." I think the promise was, take Jon Snow, her baby, as your own and raise it as your own. Because if Robert finds out, he'll kill it. If Robert finds out that this is half Targaryen, he'll kill it, and I don't want that to happen to my baby. So I think that was the promise. Obviously, I said this all in my other videos, but I think that was the promise that Ned made to his sister and that he kept till his dying day. And I think if they did do that and let Sir Arthur Dayne go out to the wall, I think he took the sword Dawn back to Starfell, because that's the only way anyone would buy the story. He said he made the 8 cranes out there, or whatever, the 8 graves for everybody. So I mean, he could say he died and then send him off to the wall. Took his sword and his sister, because I believe, like I said, Lyanna Stark and Ashara Dayne both had kids at the Tower of Joy. I think he took the sister, Ashara Dayne, and Dawn the sword back to Starfell, and then he left and he took the baby with him, her baby as well, with him, and gave it to Howland to take. If he left it there, Robert would find out and Robert would kill it. And just like he didn't want Jon Snow to be killed, he didn't want her baby to get killed as well. And they were in love, and obviously he went out and he had just had to marry Catelyn Tully, because his brother, that's what started all this. Rhaegar took Lyanna. Brandon went to the King's Landing to demand to see Rhaegar to get her back and to take care of Rhaegar. The king ended up killing him and his father Rickard, and that basically started this whole rebellion thing. I mean, that's kind of what started the whole Robert's Rebellion thing. So, yeah. I think he went out there. It was going to be too dangerous for Ashara to keep the baby. I think Ashara and Ned were in love, but, for this war thing, he ended up having to marry, and for honor, had to marry Catelyn Tully, take his brother's place, because he was the new Lord of Winterfell, and to join forces and have enough forces to beat the king. I think that's why I think Ashara Dayne, I was kind of in the air by this, but I think Ashara Dayne did kill herself. I think she did jump off the tower and kill herself, and they say it was for love, because she loved Eddard Stark and he was now married to Catelyn Tully. But I think it might have been a little bit of that, but also the fact that she had to give up her son, or her baby. We don't know what it was, son, daughter. But she lost Ned and she lost her baby, and I think the grief was too much, and she killed herself. Jumped off of Starfell, and that was that. Maybe she just snuck away, and that was the story, and she snuck away. But in A Storm of Swords, in the book, remember, Arya was riding with the Brotherhood Without Banners, and she was riding with Sir Edric Dayne, Ned Dayne, which is obviously named after her father. And he was like all uncomfortable talking to her, like, "I don't know if I should, milady." Like, he didn't want to tell her anything that she wasn't supposed to know, obviously, because he wasn't going to be the one to tell her. But Edric Ned Dayne, his dad was Sir Arthur Dayne's older brother, and his aunt was Ashara Dayne. And he knew the story pretty well about her falling in love with Ned and, being grief struck and jumping off. Didn't say anything about the kid. So, yeah, I think the story is she was in love with Ned and he married Catelyn Tully, so she jumped off over grief. But I think it was more than that, or she snuck away, and we'll figure it out later. But, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just sitting here. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, DJ hours, what's up? And I'm just sitting here thinking all this crazy stuff, and got to put my DVR on because got to go see Mama. One thing that comes before Game of Thrones, got to go see Mama. But yeah, I'll be coming back. I'll be seeing it a little bit later, but I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's going on. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think they're going to answer the really R plus L equals J thing? I mean, I'm telling you, that is not the answer, people. There's so many questions, and yeah, I think we're going to get more things like that answered at the tournament at Harrenhal, which they're going to have to put out. I mean, there's just so much stuff that went on there. But I think that we're going to get more answered there than we will at the Tower of Joy. Yeah, so I think Howland Reed, I think that's the main reason we haven't seen him yet in the story, because I think he's raising the other child, and they weren't ready to show that yet. It was still too dangerous earlier, and now they just haven't really busted that out. But that's going to be one of the huge reveals coming up here soon. You heard it here first. So that's also why he had to send Jojen and Mira for Bran, to help Bran get up to the tree in Bloodraven. He couldn't go himself because he was still with the other baby, and it's still too dangerous to bring him out in the open. So yeah, until they bring on Holland Reed, we're never going to really know the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help us roll lower. We're just going to have to wait until HBO brings them on the screen. Until then, we'll just have to keep guessing and keep theorizing. We're only about 14 hours away, so can't wait to see it. Like I said, got to go see Mama first, but as soon as I get back, I will watch it and we'll get the recap and review out. And we're going to have a Q&A video right after that. So if there's anything you guys want to know about, don't hesitate to ask me down below. And if you like how we do this, go ahead and thumbs up the video. That way other people know it's worth watching. If you like, go ahead and subscribe and you'll know as soon as a new video is posted. And until next time, game on. What are you guys still doing here? What, do you want another theory? A bonus theory? Alright, here's one for you. Say there was no kids out at the Tower of Joy. When Ed went out to go get his sister Lyanna, he had to fight the Three Kings Guard. He fought him and he took out Sir Arthur Dayne, but when he was fighting him, he heard Lyanna scream out. She just yelled. What if her getting screamed out wasn't her having a baby or having any babies up there? She just got stabbed and that was the pool of blood that she was in, not child's birth. So she died. Eddard took her bones. He did take Dawn back to Starfell, gave him back their ancestral sword. Ashara Dayne jumped off of their castle because she was brokenhearted that he was going back because he was now married to Catelyn Tully. On the way back to Winterfell, he swung through King's Landing, and Varys really did switch out the kids. It wasn't just one like in the books, but actually switched out both of them because why would you just save one kid? So Fagon actually got given to Eddard Stark, and that was Jon Snow, and he raised him up in the north. And Mira's about to find this out from Bloodraven when she's up at the tree and find out that they're actually related, and he might even hand over Dark Sister. Have a good one.